Welcome back to Let's Play Saints Row 4. So, all I'm saying is that's the reason I did the Benjamin King mission off screen.
Yeah, you're a pretty good dancer. I
I
mean,
alt-tabbed.
you could see, oh, it was a quick time event.
It still counted. And I
Really?
also got the Death from Above upgrade, so let's find a
That's gonna,
skyscraper and check it out.
it has to be really tall, man. This might do.
Yeah!
I don't know. It's really kind of picky.
Yep. It's even a purple cloud. And I got no notoriety for that. Anyway, this time we're gonna do... Wait, first I need to upgrade whatever weapons I have on me.
Oh yeah, because like 100k is what you really need to get a full upgrade for a weapon.
A little over, really.
Yeah, just slightly. But yeah, I beat the game today. I don't know what you get for like the special part of having like all your homies' missions being done.
Aside from the achievement.
Yeah, I mean I have a feeling what it is, which makes me say that Matt is my spirit animal.
Alright, let's fully upgrade the SMG. And then...
Hashtag rolling like a pone.
Do I already... Oh, I definitely need to upgrade this one.
Oh shit.
What?
Gulliver is at my
Gulliver is the pelican that keeps crashing his boat, right? Or
yeah.
whatever bird. Birds are all the same to me. Anyway, we're gonna do Kinsey's mission this video and do all the audio logs, and then we will do the last story missions in the next video.
Yeah. Hashtag Kenzie for best homie.
Because we didn't kill him in your...
This sounds urgent.
It's like, oh man, these people are alive. No, they're in the simulation. We watched him get knocked into... We knocked him into a vat of acid, and he terminatored.
We've had a lot of Terminator happening.
For the record, I've never actually seen any of the Terminator movies.
I saw the first one.
I'm trying to... Sid. Sid, where do you... Is it stuck up there?
It's rolling... Oh.
Dang. There we go.
Bonk!
But yeah, after this, I'm looking forward to doing actual GTA style games. This is a good game, but it really shouldn't have been a Saints Row game.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. Thanks, Gulliver, but I wanted the Empire State Building, not something from Thailand. Dick. I told you where Australia was, and all you got me was a rock.
I got a rock. I don't get why the cutscenes are 30 frames.
Me
Is
neither.
Cyrus really all that bad?
Are you kidding me?
I am only joking. I just never seen you this angry.
You saw what he put me in. You saw.
Poor me. I thought this might be about him trying to blow up America.
That Cyrus is dead. This Cyrus is running rampant in the simulation. I've managed to shut him down each time before things got too hairy, but he's getting stronger, bolder, and it's time for him to stop.
Why have I not heard until now that Cyrus is breaking into the simulation?
Honk
Because I
honk.
thought you were a little busy freeing your
Honk
friends,
honk.
avenging the Earth, and tracking down
Honk
a
honk.
maniacal alien overlord.
Add your rescue to the long list of things I was too busy
So
doing.
wait, what did we
Yes,
end up naming the
and
episode?
that.
Hong Kong 3.
Hong Kong 3.0.
I've never seen you so keen
Oh.
on destruction.
Just get in a tank
Any kind of
already.
Oui,
tagline?
mon capitaine.
Huh?
Like any kind of tagline with it?
Look,
With it?
a UFO.
Like honk harder,
No.
honkingest.
This sounds like music that you would hear in GTA.
Yeah.
Like, specifically Vice City.
How exactly does Cyrus break into the simulation?
This incarnation of Cyrus came from my
Or Vice
subconscious.
City Stories,
I can
which
only
also takes
assume he
place
took
in the
some of my
80s.
knowledge about how this whole thing works with him.
No offense, Kinsey, but that sounds how you
sounds-
say bonkers.
Huh?
Do you realize how
Nothing.
crazy everything since we were abducted from the White House? sounds?
Bonkers.
Truly, it seems we have gone through the looking glass.
Sock and boppers.
Honk honk.
Yeah! Take that, Cyrus!
I just hate how you don't get the stag cars. I like them.
Well, someone's probably modded them in. Oh, you can't save it.
Yeah, no, I try. I try.
Oh my god, does he try?
Here he comes! He's in a jet! I hope you're ready for this.
Always ready for.
Why doesn't this thing have
Can't
nitrous?
wait to take you back to where you belong.
Just imagine a tank with nitro.
Wouldn't that be the best thing?
Blue Bear, what the fuck did you do to O'Hare? You're
Wait,
skipping away
I
from him,
assume
all
that
happy as can be, and he
explosion
has
took
like freaking smoke coming out of his
Don't
head.
bet on it. I know he's still here somewhere.
Psychotic little prick.
Hey, Kinsey, are you still trying to fight a man's fight?
Shit! He blinked out on us.
See if you can handle this.
really?
This never
Are you
stops
serious?
being fun.
Are you kidding me right now?
Are you serious? No, I'm Snape. Still waiting for you to get it.
He vanished again. Get ready.
Wow. Either I'm dealing a lot more damage than the game expected, or he just phases out really quickly.
Come on, girls, just give up already.
Eh. So, I'm assuming that I'm not going to get the Godfather in time for it to be the next thing. So, what do you think we should do for the next GTA style? What? Oh man, it's gonna take her 5 episodes to do anything.
Damn it, Dragon Ball Z. Hashtag Kenzie for best homie. He is dead. He has been dead.
That was the shortest one.
Yeah. So,
Well, all that leaves is the collectibles.
so should we make the rest of oh Jesus, that's a lot of collectibles. Should we start with like audio logs?
I'm not gonna go for all the clusters, and I have everything except the audio logs and clusters. So
I could get a classic police station in my Animal Crossing. That's just the shed.
all right.
Yeah, we've made a lot of progress. We got a lot of friends.
Now comes the mundane part of the game. I don't know what I got that 1 XP for. Let me put it on my mixtape. Which now only consists of What is Love and Safety Dance.
Safety.
What?
Deceased crab.
Wasn't that the best thing?
It was one of the best things.
I want to know how she convinced him to do that.
I have no idea, man.
I gotta admit, I didn't think much of the boss when they first joined the crew. I thought there was no way they were gonna make it through being canonized, let alone be any help taking over Stillwater. Hell, they didn't even talk back then. But after that shit with the Vice Kings, I knew we found ourselves one hell of a saint. There's nothing the boss can't do.
I'm guessing that the Vice Kings were like the main gang in that game.
Right.
Let's see.
One of them at least.
Well, they're the only gang that anyone ever mentions. Might as well.
Aw.
I don't really care about the collectibles anymore. Like the
Things
clusters, I
ain't
mean,
never
but...
been easy for the Saints. First, we lost Lynn to the Rollers back in Stillwater. And then Julius tried blowing up the boss and the Saints fell apart. And after getting the crew back together, the Brotherhood had Carlos killed and... Aisha. Well, I lost her to the Rollers.
This is a good way to catch people up on
And
the
then
story.
Philippe Loren tried taking
If
me
they
out,
just jumped
only
into
had
this game.
Zinyak come in and snatch me
Yeah.
from the Saints anyway. Like I said, shit's always been rough.
I like how everyone's, all of a person's logs are in one area.
Yeah.
And last you
Aisha's
got
dead.
one.
It hit me really hard. I thought I'd made peace with it, but Zinyak's fucking simulated hell took its toll. You know, I know the whole point was that I'd never be able to save him, but that shit would never stop me from trying. But the boss didn't show up to help. I don't know how much longer I could have kept it together.
Alright, and we've got one right here.
Who's this? Oh, it's Julius's.
Ah, I wasn't sure myself.
When the Vice King stopped being about protecting Sunnyvale, I knew it was time to get out of the game. I was hoping that Benjamin could keep the city locked down, but years passed, and it ended up being the same old shit. Only this time, the victims were the people in Saints Row. I thought the Vice Kings was a cautionary tale that I learned something from. That if I built a new street gang, I could control it. Not make the same mistakes King did. I was so fucking naive.
And plus, for people who have played the previous games, it does get the perspective of the other characters.
Yeah.
I like how I have pretty much all of them in the middle island, in the center island, but there's a ton everywhere else.
Right.
Ugh. Oh hey, you can do it outside of that mission.
Yep.
Let's see. Right there. Nope, nope. Get out. We fall faster than the vehicle. Why?
Hashtag fat.
I knew early on what it was I let loose on Stillwater. Reply was reckless and uncaring. Left a wake of bodies pointing right back at us. Think more of the city was destroyed than saved in the end. Sure, the Saints were taken over, but at what cost? I couldn't risk letting a sociopath run things, so I did what I had to do. Never thought the bastard would survive the explosion.
Alright. And last Julius one is over here. I like how a lot of them are like barely hidden or not hidden at all.
Yeah.
I don't regret much. You make your choices, you live with them. But if I could take anything back, it would be the way things ended up with Angela. It was all fun and games for her. She wanted to be just like Benjamin. I shouldn't have let her get in so deep.
Alright, Cyrus is over here.
I've not listened to Cyrus's yet. So once I beat the game, I shut it off.
Ah. If this were Far Cry 3, you'd have to work to get up there.
Yep.
I figured it would be a cushy job. After all, pitting a military organization against common street thugs seemed like a one-sided battle. The Saints changed that perspective quickly. Monica Hughes had no idea what she was sending me in. The leader of the Saints is insane. We expected them to tear through Steelport, but no one knew what they were really. After they destroyed that aircraft carrier, Hughes should have approved the data list right then and there.
Now, did they ever explain what the data list really was, or?
Alternate ending.
Ah.
Is it okay for me to spoil it, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a... The reason I'm doing it on the stream whenever we do that is for the sake of showing the mission itself, not the ending.
Well, after taking the alternate path, you defeat where you kill Bane. You then go on to mourn Shondi's and Aisha, fuck.
She's already dead.
She's already dead. Viola's death at the broken chalet, like when a giant flying aircraft carrier flies above Steelport and starts blowing shit up around the city. It's controlled by Cyrus, and that's the data list. And then you basically get on the ship and start blowing things up and try to kill him.
And fail,
I'll
I
never
assume,
regret that night I had
because he said try.
She opened my eyes to things
Or
I
maybe.
couldn't see now. Wow. What did she call it? A helicopter. No way to teach that in basic.
Okay then.
Hashtag no love life.
So, is that building even used in a mission?
Yeah, and that is the old Syndicate building.
Ah. Jeez, is this audio log at the very top?
It's on the side.
Whoop.
It's amazing looking back on how I used to be. Constantly baked out of my mind, always looking for the next party. You'd think after I got my own dating show I would have been even more of a train wreck, but doing TV is hard work. Who has time to go smoke up when they have to be on set at 6 a.m.?
And it is a cool little recap of the story to see like deep other people's side of things and all that.
Mm-hmm. Also, if this was just Cuz 2, there'd be collectibles up here. That game has too many collectibles. It's impossible to 100%.
Ever since that night on Loren's plane, things haven't been the same. I used to be fun and carefree, I used to smile and laugh. Now I just want everyone to pay for what the syndicate did. Johnny didn't deserve to die like that. He was the toughest person I knew. And it's my fault. I should have gone back for him.
Well, it's a good thing he didn't die like that.
It's a good thing he didn't die. Is the safety dance
The
going
boss
on?
kept the crew
Yep.
together when we landed in Steelport. First, we took out that asshole Philippe, and then Kilbane for what he did to Johnny's funeral. Stag was just icing on the cake, really. I thought I'd be happy with revenge, but it was never the same. Even when the boss won the election and we moved to the White House, I couldn't stop thinking about what Johnny would say about it all.
Now, what do I get for getting all of the characters? Is that like
I don't know.
health or something?
I don't know.
I built, I watched, and then I acted. That's how I brought the Vice Kings up to be one of the strongest crews in Stillwater. Only problem was my lieutenants didn't have the same patience. That bitch Tanya drove a wedge between Tony and Warren. Then she convinced Warren to try and take me out, only to stab him in the back and take it all for herself. I may have lost the Vice Kings, but killing her almost made it worth the trouble. Good thing the player was there to help.
I like how that's what everyone from Saints Row 1 calls us. Playa.
Yeah.
I don't know, I kind of am surprised that they didn't... I'm just making sure they don't. Yeah, they didn't do anything with, Troy.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he was a
With the fall of the
significant
Vice
character in the
Kings,
first one.
I figured it was time to get out of the game. Living the life I had, I didn't want all that experience to go to waste. Figured a book would allow me to work out my demons and show the world what the game took from me. Didn't know it'd take off so well. Shit. If I had known back then what I do now, probably would have gone legit sooner.
What, so you were an illegitimate writer before? Yeah, there's really not much I can really say for this episode because it's all story, almost.
Right.
I always knew the Saints were ambitious, but I never thought I'd see them end up in the White House. And when the player called me saying how they couldn't do it without me, how could I say no? Thought maybe I was in line for vice president, but I guess Keith beat me to it. Still, being the president's chief of staff certainly had its perks. Not bad for a kid from Sunnyvale Gardens.
Also, apparently Stillwater is based on San Francisco. But there aren't nearly enough tight streets and steep hills. And Steelport is actually supposed to be New York City-ish. I can see that, all the skyscrapers and stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't see the San Francisco.
Everyone has their own interpretations.
Boss was a lot more hardcore back in the day. Managed to pull the Saints back from the grave. Didn't take any shit from anyone, especially the Brotherhood, the Ronin, or the Sons of Sami. Hell, anyone that got in the way lost everything they had. Not just their life. Still, it's too bad what happened to Carlos, though. He was a good kid.
Ugh.
Carlos was a good guy.
Yeah.
Helped us break out of jail. Then turns out Carlos isn't dead. What? Well, we killed him and buried him. What the fuck are you talking about?
It was a clone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Shonda and I had a relationship. I came up with all the ideas. She got all the credit. Never seemed fair. I guess it worked out in the end, though. With me being an international celebrity and all.
Well, she did have her own TV show.
You were just on commercials. Just commercials. That is taunting right there.
Yeah. But that really was the most awkward mission in the game.
Yeah. Here's some insight about the boss.
That was magic.
Okay, maybe it didn't all work out the way I planned. You know, Shonda got a TV show, and every guy in the world wanted her. I was doing commercials and barely getting my music off the ground. But still, now I'm the Deputy Chief of Staff of the President of the United States, so that's gotta count for something. Though, I don't think the approval ratings are gonna much matter anymore.
What are you talking about? Approvals are all that matter in showbiz.
Showbiz. Best kind of business. Showbiz.
And I did unintentionally grab some of these during the regular playthrough, so that's why some of the counts aren't at 1 of 3 when I picked the first one up.
First, I told the FBI. Then I told the Saints. Then I told the President and the entire Secret Service, and still they wouldn't listen. Now here we are, abducted by aliens and trapped in technology far beyond what we had on Earth. You know, if I'd only got the budget system, we wouldn't be stuck up here dealing with the Zin. I mean, it would only have cost $3.1 billion. Hey, I tried to warn the military, but they didn't want to listen to the press secretary.
I thought that he had another one on here. Oh.
Nope.
Yes!
Well, she probably did, but we probably got it at some point.
Yeah, that's probably the one I did get for her. I like the little glow that the clusters have on the ground.
Yeah. And are you enjoying your 2-song playlist?
Yes. It's better than the 1-song playlist in Saints Row 3.
You're the best around. Take it away, Penny.
She has the most beautiful voice.
Oleg is one of the best things that ever happened to me, and right now it feels like the worst. I'm up here trying to save us from captivity and psychological torture, and all I can think about is him. He's the only one who ever truly understood what I was saying. I never thought I'd meet someone with an intelligence nearly matching my own.
Nearly.
I feel like I wasn't constantly missing something in my life. Now I am. Now I miss him.
Well, there's your reasoning, Matt.
Yep. Who are we going for next?
Who did I even? Saints Row 2, Shonda, I think. I don't recognize icons. I just click one random when I finish a set. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that they still don't allow like completely custom playlists, like editing them
Yeah.
yourself.
I mean, it is possible even with the Xbox. Like, put it on a flash drive.
Oh, really?
Well, it should be.
Oh.
I should have known
Seems
dating that
easy
asshole
enough.
was gonna end badly. Veteran child. What kind of name is that anyway? Sure, he had hookups for some of the best drugs in Stillwater, but that's no excuse. And he comes and tries to kill me? Whatever. He didn't have a chance against the boss. I tried to warn him, but he never listened to me. Only the boss really did.
Hashtag we're good listeners.
We were even better crew listeners in the first game.
Oh yeah. Ears are open when your mouth is shut. I almost said legs.
Open or shut?
When your ears are
Damn,
open,
we
your
had
legs
some
are shut.
good parties after all that. And again, I knew how to have a good time. A little low dust, yes. Some hacky sack, and bam, instant party. We all needed the distraction after taking over Ultor. And distractions are what I do best. I mean, what did any of us know about running a multi-billion-dollar company after all? Though a few hits off the light bulb later, we didn't really care.
Marrow. Juana.
When I heard the Saints were back in Stillwater, I figured it couldn't hurt to have a little more muscle on the Brotherhood side. 2080 was a fair split for a bunch of has-beens from the row. After all, we were the strongest crew in the city. What do we have to fear from them? If their leader wasn't such a greedy asshole, maybe things wouldn't have escalated like they did.
It escalated pretty quickly.
Anchorman.gif.
After what the Saints did to my face, they had to expect a little payback. Carlos was an easy target and hurt their boss the most. But Jessica, that was going too far. Then Vogel rips off my shipment after letting my crew get killed. And I wasn't about to let the Brotherhood go down because of some prick in a suit.
Yeah, Vogel really was.
A prick
Mm-hmm.
in a suit. Money. Oh man, we have enough for another full upgrade.
And we get another $1,000 every set we complete. Which isn't really that much, but...
It's something.
I thought I had that Saint dead to rights. I mean, they couldn't kill me in my own home. What chance did they have to survive my trap? I had the perfect setup. Even used the truck that killed Jessica for a little poetic justice. But it didn't matter. I lost. Fucking Saints.
How did you record this?
I don't even think it's as much as recording, as much as like last minute thoughts of the subconscious that the Zen found when researching you. Because they do have like Zinyak did kind of know what was going to happen because he did find Johnny. So he must have had like some kind of thought to go like, hey,
That is
maybe
until
I can
Philippe
look
Loren
around
died,
and see what
because
happens. So
Kilbane was one scary psychopath. I mean, I watched him kill Kiki right in front of me, and right in front of her own sister. So I went after the Saints instead. Wrong choice on my part, but they let me live. And surprisingly, so did Kilbane. Only option then was to leave the country and hide.
Why did Kilbane let him live?
because they were pretty good friends, and it seemed like Matt left on because like he had some things to do.
How was I supposed to know that MI6 would end up offering me asylum just so they could pair me up with one of their operatives? I mean, Nasha and I got along great, but now I had to work with the government instead of against it. Not usually my cup of tea. Still, I guess it's better than being hunted down by the Saints or Kilbane. I just have to keep myself from pissing off a trained killer is all.
Yeah, Matt.
No.
Nope.
Wow, this isn't even going to fill up an hour.
No, we could probably finish off the Keymaster episodes mission.
And have a one mission video.
It is the end game, and it is pretty long.
Alright,
Because it is a 3-parter within one.
I see.
Zinyak kicked the stool out from under my political aspiration when he and his armada showed up. One of the worst things you can do is piss off America. Now, I don't necessarily agree with how the president is handling these things. Seems there must be a better way. I'm not saying I'd do better, but shit, maybe that's exactly what I'm saying. If I had the chance, anyway.
I'm just going to make a quick assumption that the ending does allow for Saints Row 5 to be a thing.
Kinda, yeah.
Alright.
From an early age, my father instilled a pride and patriotism in me that carried me far in life. I dedicated myself to serving the crown. I don't regret it, though it's not been without its challenges. One of those challenges was working with the Saints in taking down Cyrus Temple.
I think that most of the challenge is working with us, not taking him down.
Yeah.
Because we are kind of difficult to work with. We do our own thing all the time.
Yeah.
Being the boss of a gang and the president will do that to you.
Yeah.
When Matt Miller came on as my
And
field
Comas.
coordinator, he had a lot of opinions about the 3rd Street Saints.
Yachts.
I've always liked Matt, but I admit he's easily wounded and a bit tetchy when it comes to past offenses. Still, he managed to set some low expectations for that first mission with the Saints.
Yeah, this is a lot.
Well, there's just these two left.
For Tanya. Which we probably won't understand too much, because we have not played
I'm a
Saints Row
creature
1.
of habit,
Right.
of structure, which doesn't fit well with the Saints' MO. They have their way of doing things, and at times, I have no idea what they're thinking, or of their infatuation with those god-awful freckle bitches' hamburgers. But, when it comes down to it, they get things done. That's impressive, and I'm not easily impressed.
So much for
Wow.
effective range upgrades. Alright, time to start flying again. Wait, no!
Hong Kong.
You know what? I will use the Hong Kong mobile. As
Wait,
you put it.
propaganda?
Yep. Oh good, there's no cooldown on that.
Hong Kong, mofos.
Seriously, that is the most aggressive AI I've seen in one of these games.
That is the most aggressive AI I've like pretty much ever seen.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, some of it isn't. For example, look at the mushrooms.
They hit like a truck, man.
Yeah, but don't you gotta aggro them?
Nope. Well, the little ones, but
So they'll fuck your shit for no reason. Just because they're little mushroom fucks.
no, the big ones will do it for no reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think? The problem is I don't know any GTA style games.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to think of any.
Maybe GTA Advance, which is like the first game, only on the GBA, which is
Maybe.
still better. Like it's still higher power than the PCs it was originally made to run on. You'd think I'm kidding.
No.
King never had the control he thought he did over the Vice Kings. It was all me and Warren keeping things running. Well, mostly me. Warren's ego got just as big as Benjamin's in the end. He thought the two of us would rule the city. Guess he didn't know me like he thought he did.
I'm assuming they're the lieutenants, so.
Yeah. They're just unnamed guys that were given a name for no reason. They're constantly being brought up for no reason.
I mean, as opposed to some other role in the gang.
Right.
Like, the one, like, recurring henchman. That sounds like a band name.
The one reoccurring henchman.
No, just reoccurring henchman. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I never noticed this little reef over here.
Warren, Tony, Alderman Hughes. I had them all wrapped around my finger. They would have died for me. Come to think of it, I guess they did.
Well, that is all of the audio logs. And the 27 challenge. Let's see if that gets... I assume that didn't really get me. Oh, it... bonus. Discount on vehicle... Thanks, game. That's useful.
Yay.
What's the next one? Okay, 36. Alright.
Find the key, where could it be?
We managed to figure out how we can overload the simulation completely.
And when did this meeting of the minds occur?
Just before I was kidnapped. Probably why Zinyak went after me, actually.
Just what are you proposing?
If I can hack directly into the main system, then I can bring down the walls between simulations and force Zinyak to divert an enormous amount of resources to keeping it from crashing altogether.
I thought we wanted it to crash.
Oh, it will. He won't be able to stop it. But for now, what I need from you is parts. For a key.
But the key is a one-part item, no?
Not that kind of key. Anyway, Gat will be there to help you. Remember, this is important.
I like how Gat's here to help us, and he's not exactly technologically savvy.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of the CPU? I mean, what does it look like?
Some computery tech thing. How should I know?
It's a central processing unit. It's for... You know what? I'll point it out when you get close. Jeez.
Works for me.
Hello, Kinsey. We are on site. Now, where do we find the processor?
In one of the crates around the armory.
Does this involve Star Tropic Syndrome, where it's always in the last one?
I do.
I don't think so.
Okay, no need to get touchy.
You'll grow accustomed to her, Johnny.
Do I have to sprint this? What?
Ken, look at the icon.
It's like right here.
Damn, you up?
Ken, what icon is on the little thing?
Oh.
Fucking imbecile.
I'm not used to having to use powers for this. Well, by this I mean story missions. Whoop. Sorry, Gat.
I fucked up.
Whoa, the door disappeared, man.
There it is. Just be
There we
careful
go.
with it, all right?
When am I ever not careful?
Next, head to the nearby tower. That's where the memory modules are.
Right on. I'll grab one of these assault choppers and meet you there, boss. Just don't kill everyone before I get a few shots in.
I will try to exercise some restraint.
Wait, do I have the water sprinting on lock?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, hey.
I'm Jesus.
If Jesus was the leader of the Saints, we'd all be screwed.
You should be able to find generators on the floating platforms around the towers. Destroy them and
My
take
brother
their modules.
was talking to me the other day, and he says,
No, the generators are made up of a lot of
Alex,
different
you
parts.
really got to be
Just
listening
need
to the
one thing
Bible
from them, and
more.
the fastest way to get them out is to destroy
Like,
them.
I'm like, why? And he says, because there's a lot of good lessons in there.
It's a
And I
simulation.
said, what, when kids call you names, send bears after them? That
Did
is
he
my
say
hero.
yes?
He just smiled at me and said, so you know your Bible.
It is a bad idea to make me angry.
Hashtag favorite part of the Bible. Because it actually happened. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love it.
I like how there's random metal playing. How come I couldn't use that part?
Get over here.
Get over here. You have to do it right.
Maybe because it's a robot.
I have the last one now.
Okay, the gravity inhibitors are at the dock, though it looks like they're trying to put a force field up around the area. Get moving fast before they block you out.
Yo, don't wait for me. I'll be right behind you.
Understood.
Good thing the time limit basically means nothing.
Yeah, they could have made some of the time limits shorter, just to, like, amp up, like, oh shit, man.
Yeah, this could have been like 1 minute.
Ready for more, Kinsey.
Good. They've abandoned powering up the shield. Just destroy those generators and you should find the gravity inhibitors.
Just imagine doing an entire mission in a minute.
Gravity inhibitors.
Huh?
Should they not
Just imagine
cover
doing an
something?
entire mission
And
in
why
1
did
minute.
I not take some from the last generators? They were identical.
Because obviously the last generators didn't have them since they were on floating platforms.
Obviously. And why don't they hover?
Because they're not turned on?
She doesn't know, does she?
She usually knows enough.
Yeah, we just give her a hard time a lot. Especially concerning Zinniac's logic. Ah! Honk honk! Oh man, it's that one robot from The Incredibles.
Ha. Ha.
That thing was the worst in the game they made for that movie.
Wasn't the game terrible?
Yes, but I played it as a kid.
So by extension, the game itself was terrible because the robot was terrible.
What?
Or vice versa. Yeah.
No, it was like a terrible boss fight in general.
All done here.
Hey,
Let
it's
us-
raining money.
Shit's on fire. I have to set it down somewhere.
Merde. Can you see a clear place to land?
It's barely responding, but yeah, I think I can.
Just land it, Johnny. Kinsey, maintain contact.
They're supposed to explode as soon as they're on fire. Oh.
It's Johnny fucking Gat.
I do like the music playing for these missions.
Oh yeah.
Like, they did pick the right songs out of the soundtrack. Jeez rolls.
Damn it, I'm not gonna make it. This thing's going down.
Make it work!
Hold on. I'm sending in Shandi to pick you guys up.
And then suddenly metal again. This game is so metal.
Cat, you alive?
It's too metal for you.
Used another of your 9 lives, eh?
Seems like I picked a hell of a spot to crash, though.
Boss? Johnny? You there?
We're still kicking.
I'm only a few seconds out. Don't worry, I am not letting anything happen to Johnny. To you two.
Not that we can't handle.
When Shandi gets there, make sure the area is clear so she can land.
Already in progress.
I didn't think that I would be able to freeze those things.
I will
No, you can.
I know that now.
Area's all clear.
Alright, landing this thing.
Thank you, Shandi.
Bonk.
We're good to go.
She landed on my head.
Ow. That hurt.
We can rebuild him. I wish I knew what that was quoting.
$1 Million Man.
I've never heard of that. It made me think of Deus Ex.
Virtual Robot Chicken had a parry of it, like the 50,000 peso man.
Oh, I didn't. I thought the whole thing was done. I do
No.
like how it's like multiple missions in one quest.
So without power, it's really just a
Yeah.
glorified paperweight.
So give it power.
If it was that simple, don't you think I would have done that?
Kinsey, I try to never guess what's going on in here.
We need compatible power sources to make it work. And sending Sid in there to help you with that. Try to be nice to him.
What did you do to him, Kinsey? What did you do this time? Because we know it's going to be her fault that he's in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Ugh, the banter in this game is so good, though.
Banter?
Like the
Just like,
interactions between characters.
oh yeah, it's even better when you have like homies with you. Like it's just like
Can you
could
call them
just
in
have,
during
like,
missions?
Try.
Well, I'm gonna get to Sid first.
Just try.
I just realized that this is that Steelport itself is a parody of Liberty City because of the whole 3-island thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure her New York City isn't 3 islands.
Yeah.
Except there's no tunnel connecting all of them. That's really confusing.
Oh yeah.
GTA 3 had the best ending.
I wouldn't know.
Where are we going?
Wow, I'm
I
getting
have
low
marked the
FPS in general.
location for the first
Well,
power
relatively.
cell, though I am surprised Kinsey also sent along fake Shondi to help us.
Fake Shondi.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Fake Shondi?
Kinsey explained
If the
to
frames
me
are
that
this bad,
Shondi
maybe
had a
we can just like quit the
doppelganger who
mission
hated
here,
pants and was very friendly.
Yeah, that's
and then
neat,
save like
but fake?
the last part
I'm
and the final
standing right
mission for
here.
the next
Do not
episode,
shoot the
since we are
messenger.
approaching an hour.
Frankly, you sound more
I wanna
fun
make
than
the-
the other Shondi, and I love your
Oh, thanks.
I do want the final mission to have its own episode. So
Alright.
now I think about it, that's actually a really good idea.
You're welcome.
For once. Yeah, all I want in the Saints Row 5 soundtrack is one Ozzy Osbourne, Iron Maiden, or Metallica song.
Just one.
Like, even if it's Ozzy's cover of Sympathy for the Devil.
It's better than nothing.
I've never heard a version of that song that I don't like.
You aren't looking hard enough.
Made by a professional band.
Check it out. You have
Sensors detect a cell is in this area. The
Oh,
closer
are
I
you
get to it,
serious?
The more precise I can be.
Whoa, this thing's
Wait, is
pretty
Fake
handy to have around.
Shondi,
You
super
have no
or?
idea. I
Yeah.
have many uses.
You don't double as a bomb.
Should
do
be.
you?
For you, I would find a way. Cell detected.
Did I really just find it immediately?
Behind you.
It would be guarded by a portal, huh? Meh, it's something.
Suppression grenade.
This is too
Are you
easy.
serious?
What are you doing? What? You know
It
you
was like
just
right
jinxed us,
behind you.
right? What jinx? I said this was
Ah.
easy.
Jesus, you said it again.
When did you become superstitious, Shondi?
It is Chekhov's gun. Saying it is too easy now means something must go wrong later, or else there was no point to this conversation.
Merd.
Yeah.
Sid, can you give me a heads up when we're close to the power cell?
If you do something for me,
What now?
I require a date with this Shondi.
You require what?
Okay.
Seriously?
What? Could be fun.
Got the
Zinyak's fighter ships engaging.
Why is Shondi not?
The second power cell is not far. though I am detecting fluctuations in the simulation.
too slow.
A little explanation here.
The Zin are altering the area in some way. I am unsure how.
Like I said, we've been jinxed.
Luck is for losers. I haven't lost a step.
Yeah, luck had nothing to do with the fact that we have survived a yacht explosion. 2 of them!
When in doubt, go back to the yacht explosion.
Yeah, I can usually find a clever remark for it.
I think it's, yeah.
We are close now.
Wait, is that a shield generator?
Told you.
Damn it!
The shield surrounding the
At least we're
power
catching
must be
on at this
disabled,
point.
in case you couldn't
Right.
figure that out
We're,
yourself.
we're used
Okay,
to it.
Shandy, I need your help on this one.
Oh no, you created the problem. You can solve it.
Serendipity, nothing more. Look over there. That generator's not even turned on.
That suggests the Zin are currently adding more security to the remaining cells. I believe here we only interrupted the process. Shandi is right.
Just admit what you did.
Never.
I like how the music is really mellow.
Oh yeah. Saints Row has its way with music.
Oh my god, the lag is making it so that it thinks I'm letting go of the E button.
Ha. Or you could just be getting shot.
For the love of... Luckily, part of the performance may be that this is a fairly new game, since I will be going to older games for the GTA style playthroughs. But seriously, how do you not think to shoot the back of those things? It tells you to!
Right. I mean, it's more like I didn't see the back of them for the longest time because like I was focused on just shooting them like fuck, which seemed to work after a bit, so.
Alright. Honey. There hasn't really been a difficult mission with Kinsey.
Yeah, Kinsey's missions have been pretty much like tutorials and side missions so far.
No, I mean, like, even though...
And hacking.
Even when she came along for the main mission, like, her loyalty mission was extremely easy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even if you're just... Especially in comparison. Look, a UFO. No, really.
That happens? Dear.
It's almost like there are aliens. See? I'm not even getting shot. There. You don't
There
need,
we go.
You don't need to see me hold E.
Shh.
Enemy ship approaching.
Don't worry about the ship, Sid. I have invincibility frames.
Ready
Right?
for the last one. So, where does a sociopathic robot take someone on a date?
Way to change the subject and dodge responsibility for those shield generators.
I'm not being evasive. I'm being morbidly curious.
I know a great little pizza place in town.
I love pizza.
Perhaps a movie afterwards as well.
What's playing?
Pride and Prejudice.
Sounds a little serious. Well, give it a whirl.
We are nearing the final power cell.
Good, I can't take much more of this.
Feeling guilty?
Enjoying this much?
Oh, yeah.
Gee, the shield's gonna be signifying... I mean, the portal's gonna be signifying anything. There. Here it
Looks like
is.
Sid was right. They've got another generator up and running.
So, you still being superstitious?
No.
Really?
We already knew that these would be here. I don't see much of a point.
Good. Then we can.
Still not helping shut those down.
Sid?
I am with Shondi on this one. Do it yourself.
Wow, you guys are
Fucking
jerks.
useless.
Oh yeah.
That was invigorating.
Oh, they're not superstitious. And it couldn't have possibly been that they were going to do this anyway.
Exactly.
Let's put our own lives at risk to spite her. Oh god, the frames. So, I really hope that the frame gods don't frown upon us in the finale.
Quick can.
Love that.
But there is one more cell not far from
Are you
here.
serious?
Hold on. You said
It
that
blows
was the
up.
final one.
If we had obtained it, then it obviously would have been.
You okay, boss?
There's nothing to say.
Come on, don't be such a sourpuss.
Just give me a moment, Shondi.
Have it your way.
I like to imagine that
The
it's Sid
second
playing the
final
music.
power cell is in this area, and I am reading a large amount of energy out
New
from
head
around
cannon
it.
accepted.
Which, of course, is bad news.
Given that our current predicament is a result of your big mouth.
It is
I
not.
guess
It's
you
the
are
it's the
correct.
programmer's fault.
It is close.
If it's anyone you want to blame, blame Volition.
Lit up like a Feed Dogs concert.
Oh god. Also, apparently you can shoot most of these.
Most of these, not that one.
And it turns out this is the only one that matters. Oh, come on! The bar was full! The bar was full, you jerk. I don't know, this game was definitely shorter than Saints Row 3.
Yeah.
Oy, oy, oy. I know, it was worth $50 for this game. It's also worth $60 if you go for the season pass because it'll be even longer by it'll be a few hours longer. Assuming the DLCs stay around an hour.
I haven't lost a step.
Enemy ship approaching.
Yeah, this is getting like this was ridiculous.
Was it as bad for you?
Without the frame issues, yeah.
Where's the battery?
Integrated into the tank, I believe. The properties of the power cell should increase the speed, destruction, and durability of the vehicle.
Excellent.
However,
So it's
the
basically
increase in
supercharged
power will
vehicle.
also overload the tank and cause it to explode in a few minutes.
It's always something.
If you can get to Kinsey's warehouse in time, she can set up a field which will stabilize the energy output.
At least there's a bright side, right?
And doing this is the only way not to die, yes?
Correct. Good luck. You will need it. Shondi, there is a hookah bar not far from here. Care to join me before I return to the ship?
Well, catch you later, boss. Have fun.
Your loyalty is inspiring.
I still wish you could have nitrous on tanks.
Yeah.
The Zin can get in my way all they want.
The sequel to Snakes on a Plane.
I should keep a scorecard.
Saints on the plane.
I could do this
Wasn't
all
that
day.
the first mission name? Or
No, it was free falling.
They missed that opportunity. They really missed that opportunity.
They
Are
done
you having
goofed.
fun down there?
Considering it might blow up? No.
Don't worry. Sid contacted me and I set up the stabilization field. Get the tank back in one piece and you'll be fine.
This usually is where you start getting neurotic about collateral damage.
Oh, I have that speech all prepared. Figured I'd give you a little more time before I started it.
Oh, how magnanimous.
I know.
Come on, frame gods.
Honestly, it's the same drive we made several times in Saints Row 3. I don't see why it's so framey. I guess there is more going on screen.
I guess.
Because there are a lot more power-ups things.
Right.
Mind buggery.
Kinsey, what are your plans for the tank?
It'll be dismantled and the
For the
power cell will
tonk?
be pulled out for use on my key.
It seems like such a waste of a tank.
Hey, do you want to be able to kill Zinyak or don't you? Get revenge for Earth or get a tank? Your choice.
Ah, revenge for Earth.
Then quit your bitching.
Kinsey is the only one who can talk like that to us.
Yeah. Because she knows that we can't do anything without her. And there's no way in hell that we'd actually put up with Matt for an extended period of time.
Or that he'd put up with us after that mission.
We could punch him, you know.
Farewell, tank. I'll miss you. Kinsey, she's all yours.
Good.
You're right there. Shh. Also, I find it funny how everyone complains about Saints Row being completely reference-based with its humor when, hello, Fallout 3 in New Vegas?
Yeah.
Well, next time on Let's Play Saints Row 4.
We're gonna punch that shark right in the dick.
See you guys then.
See you next time, ladies and gents.